All right, we're right back. We're moving on to the final week of the game. And this is the very final week of the game. So, you know, if I was smart, I would have gone back to look to see if I remembered to move this or not, but we're just going to keep going. That Berlin target is not worth a lot of victory points, and we've been living with the fact that we draw an extra bandit, so who cares? In fact, that Berlin target, I think, is only worth 2 victory points. So we're going after victory points, folks. And there's 2 airfields that are both worth 3 victory points. And airfields, as you know, are the easiest kills to make. We could go after a factory. But here's the thing. At the end of the month, producing and moving the Mediterranean theater and all that jazz doesn't do anything for us. So we don't have to do any of the end of the month stuff. Once we finish this week, we add up our victory points, we're done. I did forget that with our mini bomber variant, we got 3 experience points for a total of 4. And then what I did was I leveled up our starboard side by 2 levels on the DRM in case our mini bomber gets attacked. So I think we're just going to go after 2 airfields, and both of them are going to be in zone 11 here. But let's do weather first. Ooh, that's a 2. That becomes a 2. So what we're going to do is we're going to spend 6 SO points to re-roll the weather. So there we go. We're at a 7. It becomes an 8. We have clear weather in the UK. Now let's go to zone 1. That's clear weather. Zone 2 is a 3. That's fine. It's partly cloudy. And then zone 3 gets stormy weather. Or mostly cloudy, I mean. So these 2 are in hex 11, which is zone 1. And that's clear skies. Okay, so we're going after 2 clear sky situations. They're both hex 11, which is just 1 range. 3 bombers each. So 1 bomber can sit. Little Abner will sit because he's the one that has 8 damage. And we're going to send Paradise Lost with Death Dealer. And then Hell's Angels will join him. And then, of course, the B17 group is already a group of 3. So they have to go together. So we're going to do 1 of each. So Little Abner's sitting out. This is the B24. And he's going to go with Paradise Lost, which is the 97th. And Hell's Angels is going to join them. He's the 303rd. Like that. Okay. And then the other 3 are going the other way. And then, of course, we're going to have escorts with both of them, even though there's no airfields. I don't think we're going to need it personally, but we're going to find out. We get to do Recon, so red on the left, blue on the right. The red gets us to medium. However, the blue, we stay low. So now I'm going to roll to find out what the low is going to cost us. Technically, we're not supposed to know until we get there, but I think it's okay now. I rolled a 5. It's going to be -1 air to ground, +1 flak. Where's the -1 air to ground? Where's all the low intel? Here we go. Okay, so this one's going to be +1 flak, -1 air to ground. So it's both of those penalties. This is +1 air to ground, so they'll just cancel out. But we're taking the 0 bombs, so no worries there. We'll just do this one first. Pay 2 SO or remove. We have the 2 SO. We spent 6. We have 15. Remember, we got 15 at the start of the week. Okay, and then we're going to roll for the Luftwaffe response. That's a 2. -2 is 0, +1 because of the clear weather cancels, or it's all poor. There's nobody there. We're flying straight to the target. And then we're going to do red, white, and blue. It's 2 rolls. So red, white, and blue are all hits. Holy buckets. Okay, they get a -1 because of their durability. So this is 2 hits, 2 hits, and 2 hits to everybody. So, wow. Memphis Belle is up to 5 damage. He's fine. The Grim Reaper is up to 5 damage. He's also fine. And then Holy Joe is up to 5 damage. Also fine. But I gotta roll again still. So let's try that. So red's a miss, white's a miss, and blue's a miss. So we got lucky there. Okay. So now let's roll for the bombs. All of them have this bomb here. So that's a +2. +2 is 4. And we're gonna do Holy Joe first. And that's a +1. So +5. That's 10, that's 9, and that's 10. So that's 5 hits on the target. Next guy is Memphis Belle, who gets a +2. That's a 10. So the Memphis Belle +2 is another +2 is +4, right? So 4 + 3 is 7. That's not enough. That one's a 9. So that's 3 more hits. So it puts us up to 8. Oh, +2 for this. So 4 + 2 is 6. That's a 10. That's a 10. So that's 4 hits. And that's a 9. That's 5 hits. So that means I actually have 10 hits, not 8. I only need 1 more hit. And I'm not even doing the math. I rolled high enough. So even with the flak scare, we still destroyed the target. So this is a supply of 3. So if I gotta get rid of all these tokens. So if I take this card, set it aside, I do move up 1, 2, 3, and that lets me destroy another airfield. I would do the one on the way to Berlin. And I gotta go home. Remove any remaining tactics. That's not a problem. Okay, so now we're moving to the other target. So let's roll for the Luftwaffe response. This time it's a 9. -2 is 7, but we add 1 because of the clear skies. So it is an 8, and an 8 is a high response. So this is not good. So I'm going to set this up the real way because we all of a sudden got ourselves a pickle. The path is still clear. We're doing that. That's what we did with the last one. It's still the same path. But now we're going to get intercepted by these two because we have a range of 1. And because we're getting intercepted, we get an extra bandit because of the penalty. And I'm going to assume the extra bandit is just going to take on the persona of, or the location of the closest one. So if we were flying over a Luftwaffe, the extra bandit would use the counter side of when you're flying over the target. But since they're all 1 away, then the extra bandit's going to be from one of these 2 fields. So we are going to end up with 3 bandits coming. So let's draw the card. Add 4 damage points to the target. So that's all the more helpful. Yeah, let's draw 3 bandits. And our escort, by the way, is the 31st. This is the one that's heavily damaged. So he is shaken right now, and he can only intercept one bandit out of the 3. So this is getting interesting. So 1, 2, 3. And we got 3 bandits, so now they're all coming in from one away, so we have to flip them over so the numbers are on the top. And what that translates into is they're not gonna be here for as many turns. This one is gonna be here for 3 turns, which is very impressive. Oh, it is an ME410. Okay, so our escort can choose which one he's going to engage if I roll a 5 or better. I rolled a 9. So we do get to choose, and I'm gonna choose you, Pikachu, because this one is gonna be with us for 3 turns, okay? These other 2 are only gonna be with us for 1 turn. So I'm gonna roll for the first one. He's attacking Paradise Lost. And then the second one is also attacking Paradise Lost. So we got 2 of them going after the leader. So let's resolve the escort battle first. So they're gonna roll, we are slow. So they're gonna roll, and they rolled a 6, which is a hit. And we're up to -10 again. And then we're gonna roll a 1, which is gonna miserably miss. And then we're on turn 2. They rolled a 6, and we go up to 11, and the fighters are out of the battle. So they're going to now go engage another bomber. I rolled a 9, so we're going to engage bomber number 3. So I'm just going to finish this out, and then we'll resolve this one last. So the 303rd is, which bomber group is that? It's got to be Hell's Angels. Yes, it is. So they attack first. 5 is 1 hit on Hell's Angel. No worries there. Hell's Angel attacks back. 2. We do get to add 4 to that, but that's not enough. So he flies home. Nothing much to say about that. Now here we got some interesting pickles. First thing is that this is where our individual bomber is. So we got to roll to see, does the bandit attack us? So I'm going to roll twice for the first one and then for the second one. If we roll an 8 or above, that means the bandit is going to attack our individual bomber. So the first one's a no, and the second one is a no. Okay, so none of them are attacking our individual bomber. So now they're going after Paradise Lost. And Paradise Lost is a fast pilot. So we attack first. And I'm going to choose the one that has the better odds at hitting us. And let's roll. I rolled a perfect 10. And just so you understand, we get a 4, 5, 6, 7, plus 7 bonus to our roll. So we destroyed this FW-190. And we move the bandit killed counter up by 1. We do get 1 experience point, although I'm not sure it matters anymore since this is our final week. But we do get 1 experience point. And then now they get to attack us. Oh, I threw away the wrong one, didn't I? Oh, crap. So I rolled a 5. We actually have 1 armor, so he didn't hit us. It was supposed to be the other guy who had the 6. This was the one I attacked. That's okay. And then he flies away because it's only a 1-round battle. So we don't get to attack him the second time. I think we would have killed him. We get a plus 7 to our rolls. That was pretty awesome. Okay, so now we get to the target. And yes, we got all this nonsense where there's no bonus here. But we do get the plus 2 bonus from this. And we'll do Paradise Lost first. So I rolled a 7, a 5, and a 2. Now Paradise Lost adds 4, plus the 2 here, plus these 2, that's 6. So we get to add 6 to our rolls. And that's 2 hits, that's 2 hits, and that's 1 hit. So I just did 5 hits. and this is a 9. Now I just realized I got a little premature. We're supposed to roll flak. So let's do red, white, and blue. Red is Paradise Lost. That's a miss. White is a 7, which is our Death Dealer. That is a hit for 1. And then now they do add 1, so that becomes an 8. It's still a hit for 1. And this is a 10. The +1 and the -1 cancel each other out, but that is a hit for 3. So Hell's Angels takes 3. It's now at a -4. It's still in great shape. Death Dealer goes to -4. He's also in okay shape. Nope. Death Dealer has a flak of -1. And Death Dealer is the white. So this 7 becomes a 6. No, it doesn't, because of the +1. So Death Dealer does go to -4. So we're good there. But it's 2 rolls, so now we got to roll again. Okay, red is still a miss. White is a miss. And then blue is a hammering. So he's getting 3 hits again. So he's now up to -7. He's still okay, but -7 is definitely high. And we already dropped the bombs for Paradise Lost. Let's do Death Dealer. Death Dealer carries a tonnage of 8. Death Dealer gets a +1 in addition to the +2, so that's +3. Yeah, those cancel. So this is a 10 for 2, a 9 for 1, nothing, and nothing. So that's 3 more hits. So that puts us to 12, and the target's destroyed. Don't even need to drop the 3rd set of bombs. The 4 hits from the event helped us immensely, and reduced bandit intercepts by 1 on the way home. So nothing's happening there. And we fly home. Okay, I'm not going to bother with experience points because leveling up my pilots I don't think matters. I don't think we get, like, you don't get points for having aces or anything like that. It does say that if you have a target with medium or heavy damage, you get half the victory points. We don't have that situation. And that's it. So I'm just looking real quick. The Recon variant does not give you any SO points. The weather one gives you 10. The bomber wings gives you 8. That's the reason why you want to do the bomber wings. The veteran and novice bandits doesn't give you anything. I just think it adds nice flavor. And then the fighter group engagements does give you 6. So I guess that's not anything to sneeze at. Okay, so we just destroyed 2 targets. This one is worth 3 victory points. This one's worth 3 victory points. So we have a 3 and a 3. That puts us to 50 and then 53. Okay, that's our final score, 53. I think we had a very slow start and a very good finish. But 53, as you can see, is an adequate score. We were just 2 points away from a good score. So nothing much I could do there. I think I scored the maximum I could that final couple weeks, but fell a little bit short from getting the good ranking. So there you have it. That is a full campaign, 1942. I think I already explained why I think I didn't get a good score. I was also rusty, you know, because I hadn't played this in a while. I'm in the groove now. I think I would do much, much better next time. Okay, so what's next? I'm actually gonna show you real quick the other campaigns that are in the game. We'll do a quick session, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to do another campaign of this game. That's what I'm trying to say. So if you enjoyed this, I promise you the next one will be even smoother. I won't focus so much on explaining the rules. I do explain what I'm doing as I go, like I've been doing. So at least the first couple of videos will be quicker. But I want to show some other aspects to this game. Like I said, 1942 is like a training wheel mission. Let me jump in and just show you some stuff. So the first one, I'm just going to put it down here. Maybe, yeah. This one is 1944. Now the advantage to 44 is all the planes except for the, there's two sets of planes in 1945. We have the jet fighters that don't come out until 1945. And I think that's it. I think everything else is unlocked in 44. So the jet fighters, yeah. So the Shooting Star, there's only one and only one jet fighter in the game, and it's 1945. And of course it says optional. But they are always fast. That's the one thing to note. Obviously, as they level up in skill, they become fast even when they're shaken. And they have a durability of 2. So that means whenever they get hit, they actually have 2 armor. The bandit rolls get subtracted by 2 against them. They do cost 18 SO points, and it's pretty neat. You have to do a 1945 mission, and in fact, it even specifically says October of 1945. So you have to be, not only do you have to be in 1945, but they don't come out until the very end of 1945. And as you know, the year ends by December, so it's a really, it's probably thematic, but it's a crappy situation. Whatever campaign you're doing, you're going to be at near the end of the campaign by the time you pull this out. And so I don't think you're ever going to see an ace pilot, because you're probably going to have to come in as green or whatever. But I just wanted to point out that there is this one that's October of 45, which is really late. What other planes do we have? We have Mustangs, and they come out in 44. We have the P-30, these are P-38s, yeah. They come out in 43. They can be pretty good. The P-38s have a range of 6, and so do the Mustangs. So these are your long-range fighters, and those are very much needed. The P-38s have armor, whereas the Mustangs don't. But you'll find that the Mustangs are pretty powerful. I do like the Mustangs. As far as the rest of the lineup goes, there is one other set of fighters, and that's the P-47s, the Thunderbolts, and they come out in 43. They have the same range issues as the Spitfire, but they tend to be better than the Spitfire in terms of abilities. As far as fighters go, that's your lineup. Now, as far as the bombers go, in 43, you get B-29s. This is, I think if I remember correctly, the designer or the rule book says that this is these were Pacific only, because they're the Super Fortress basically. But they added it to the game for flavor. I think he said that they weren't actually used in Europe. But if you'll notice here, it has a 12 tonnage and a range of 10. So these are super beasts. They do cost 22, and you get them in 43. So you can play these in a lot of your campaigns. There's only one of them in the game, by the way. Then this is the one I was telling you about. It's called Flak Bait. It only costs 5, and he only carries 4 tons worth of weight. He repairs the crap out of himself, so he's super durable, and he actually gets a +3 air to ground, which is probably the highest in the game. And he has really nice stats. I guess at green level he doesn't. But he's called Flak Bait. And so he costs only 5, and he's a B-26. And I think what you do is you buy him and use him for the diversion missions, right? So he can go off and do a diversion, and that'll reduce the Luftwaffe response by 2. So there's only one of these in the game. There's a whole bunch of B-24s. The B-24s we played are exactly the same as these. And so I don't know what the difference is, to be quite honest, but there's some more that are coming out in 43. So for whatever reason, we weren't allowed to play with this B-24, but we were allowed to play with the other 2 B-24s. I think it's more for balancing sake, is, you know, the designer probably didn't want us to have 8 B-24s in the 1942 mission. But yes, some new B-24s become available. I'm not sure that they provide any, although this is interesting, this one gives you an oil bonus and a repair bonus together. So that's a double bonus. That's pretty nice. Okay, there's some B-25s that get introduced. These also cost 5 points. They're sort of like the flak bait. They do have a nice air to ground and only 4 tonnage. So here you go. You got another flak bait here, the big swing. And then some B-17 Gs. We're flying with Fs, so now these are the Gs, and I think these are the ones that come with the chin turret upgrades. So you're going to see that written on almost all of them. What is the chin turret upgrade? The frontal attack gets a huge bonus, because I guess they had a weakness when planes attacked them from the front. A lot of the German commanders will actually use that tactic. The particular German commander we used did not. So our B-17s were very vulnerable to a frontal attack. This negates some of that bonus that they get for frontal attack. So you're going to see all the B-17Gs have it. It's not something you need to say, ooh, that's valuable. They all have it. Just pay attention to the air-to-ground bonus. Yeah, we got a lot of B-17Gs. And here's the thing. You can see that those came out in 44, okay? But as I keep going, now there's some B-17Gs that come out in 43. I don't know if there's a difference between them. They have the same tonnage, everything. Once again, there's just some planes that don't become available until 44, while the other ones become available in 43, just like some of our B-24s were available in 42, but other ones weren't available until 43. I think it's more of a manufacturing, like representing the fact that there was more available. I don't know. And then here's a B-24H. So this is an upgrade to the B-24D. It has the same tonnage, but it does come with the chin upgrade, just like the other one did not. And I don't know if it has better skills or stats or anything like that. And that's it. So you can see the lion's share of them come out in 43, with a whole bunch more, or just as many come out in 44, maybe a tad bit less. And then you got a few that don't come out until 40, or just one plane doesn't come out until 45. Okay. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. So okay, that was a little bit of a long-winded tangent there. But so for the oil campaign, it's a 44 mission. So you're going to have every plane in the game with this one. It's August through November, so it's not a very long campaign. And then what happens is you get double points for oil targets. And we just did oil targets, so you got a good sampling of what those look like. There's always going to be 4. So basically, as soon as you destroy an oil target, you're going to draw another one. And there's always going to be 4 available throughout the campaign. You do not use secondary missions. And then as you destroy the oil targets, the supply number that's written on them is going to give you a permanent bonus for the rest of the campaign. So as you destroy oil targets, you're going to get some nice bonuses, like 1 less bandit attack, draw 1 fewer, or -1 to their turns, 1 fewer, and then the defense response is -2. You start off with a boatload of SO points and a healthy range of skills. You actually start with a veteran. That is necessary because it is 1944 and it's just a couple months. And then the other thing is you get a really nice, healthy selection of technologies, which you did not see in this game. Technologies can be a big deal, and some of these technologies, anyways, it's a. I did not ever play this campaign, so I can't tell you it's good or bad. But my initial impression of it is if you're in the mood for a short campaign, you want to use the more modern planes, this is the one for you. It does have a neat little mechanic of as you destroy their oil fields, you hamper their capabilities. It also gives you a nice selection of technology. There's nothing wrong with this one, but I won't be doing that one. I don't like short ones. Okay, this one is a very interesting one. It goes from June of 43 to September of 43. So that's 4 months, with 3 of them being a 4-week month. So you got some nice longer months there. The only thing interesting to mention here is, obviously it's combined RAF. When you choose your 2 targets, you roll a d10, and those targets take that amount of damage, whatever you roll. And so it's just signifying that the British, bombed them before we had a chance. Again, healthy selection of range, mediocre SO points, but you do get a healthy weekly SO points, and you get some technology to play around with. So this is a nice medium mission. Okay, next one, transportation. It's just like the oil one, except there's going to be 4 transportation targets in the campaign. And transportation deck is very thick. There's a whole bunch of them. Transportation targets tend to be bridges. These could be hard targets where that Disney bomb might be needed. And we haven't used those before. And this is, of course, in 1944. So the combined bomber was in 43. So we get to use some of the more advanced planes. You get double VPs for the transportation targets. I think the only thing worth mentioning is there's 4 factories. So if you focus only on the transportation targets, you're going to get overwhelmed with Luftwaffe squadrons, because 4 factories, if you're not reducing their supply, they could overwhelm you a bit. There's no secondary missions. This one is okay. The balance between trying to get double VPs and keeping the Luftwaffe off your back is legit. I don't like it as much because no secondary missions. I just didn't find it to be that much fun. Not to say that it's not fun, but I mean compared to the other ones. So we're talking relatively here. So that one's out. Strategic targets. This is June of 43 to August. Very short campaign. What you do is you randomly draw 3 targets of every single type: U-boat, ball-bearing, vehicle, oil, crossbow, transportation, naval. Then you select which targets you're going to attack, and you get double VPs for any non-air. So basically, any of these are double VP. Then you get a 5-point bonus if you destroy all 3 of whatever particular type you want. So you go after the 3 oils, for example, then you get double. So here's what's interesting about this. This is in 43, and what you'd basically do is, this is the campaign where you go after, like we have it here, Holy Joe. Holy Joe is a B17 that has a U-boat bonus, right? So I think there's even another one that has a U-boat bonus. Well, you get your 2 U-boat bonus B17s, and guess what? We're going to go after the 3 U-boat ones to get 5 victory points, and Holy Joe is a perfect one for it. There's, this guy here, Little Abner. Little Abner has a naval port bonus. Oh, guess what? Naval ports are one of the, right there. They're one of the 3. So this is an interesting, it's a very short campaign, but what's cool about this is you can use those planes that have advantages over very specific targets, and they are super valuable for this type of mission. The weekly SO, or the initial SO points is pretty decent, and you do get some to dabble with technologies. The only drawback is no secondary missions, but my gosh, you have all the secondary missions on the board. So it's not really a disadvantage. The one thing I will tell you about this is you may think, oh gosh, that's cheating. You know, I'm min-maxing my planes. You need 85 points to get a great rating. So those planes that are getting specific bonuses against specific targets, you need those extra 5 victory points. You're going to be, with the very short time frame that's here, you're going to be hard pressed to succeed. So this is a nice short one, but very challenging. I think my biggest drawback with it is it's short. I don't like short ones. And this one says short. Aircraft industry, it's for one single month. Okay, so this one is 1 month. You're drawing a very specific target card, 2 of them, and they both must be destroyed or otherwise you have a dismal failure. And then, of course, there's going to be a whole bunch of factory and airfield targets. It's very straightforward and very short. Operation Crossbow is the V1 target. So you're going to, at the beginning of each month, you draw the V weapon site targets until 4 of them are held. So basically, it's just saying you, at the beginning of the month, you always put 4 targets up on availability there. And it doesn't use secondary missions. You get double VPs for V weapon sites. Pretty straightforward otherwise. It's March of 43 to May, so it's a pretty short campaign. Obviously, it's very heavy on the V1 targets, and yeah, not much to really add there. We'll talk about that one. These 2 last. Okay, the U-boat Focus. This is only August of 42, so it's another short one. It's the same deal, except now you're just doing U-boat targets, and obviously you get double VP for U-boat targets. This is actually a really good tutorial mission, so if you want an even shorter one to start playing, this is not a bad one at all. By the way, in case you haven't noticed, we have yet to have a 1945 campaign. Let me check real quick. Yeah, not a single campaign has gone to October of 45. So that shooting star jet fighter is not... Okay, Operation Argument. This is a 1-week mission. It's not even a... so you just move a counter here. You don't even use the calendar that's on the board. You're going to have 10, 10, and 3. And basically you have to, within 1 week, destroy as many as you can and get victory points. So you start with a whole bunch of SO points. You do start with a healthy selection of bombers. And basically you're just trying your hardest to... there's going to be 14 of these on the board. And obviously they're not going to change that much. And you got 6 days to get her done. You only get to do 2 a day. So it's a very short one, of course. It's 1 single week in the year. I think it's challenging from the perspective of you have such a short amount of time to get 36 points. Okay. Operation Point Blank. This is by far the one I enjoy the most. It goes a whole year. It goes from June 43 to May of 44. My only drawback with this is that in 43, you don't have all the B17s available to you. You don't have all certain planes available to you. And then when you progress into 44, they become available. So you're going to have some bomber groups and even some fighter groups, like, for example, the Mustangs aren't available at first. So you're going to have to start with the P-38s and the P-47s. And then later on, you can get the Mustangs. Well, by the time you get them, you're already halfway done with your campaign. So they're sort of starting from scratch. But with that being said, it's a whole year. This is an epically long campaign. That's why I love it. You have to destroy 40 airfield VPs and have fewer than 15. This is the thing. You have to have fewer than 15 of these on the map. So that means you have to keep destroying airfields and removing them to, and then you have to also keep the supply down in order to prevent more from appearing. And so if you fail to do that, it's abysmal. So you do start with a healthy start. You get at least one skilled pilot, which is not bad. And then your weekly SO points changes based on what year it is, and then your replacements, same. All the technologies come out. Certain ones don't come out until October of 43. 76 points is a great evaluation. I actually think that's pretty easy to get, considering that you needed 70 in the one we just did, which was half the amount of time. That's my only thing, is that I think it's too easy to win this one. But getting 40 airfield VPs is not that hard, especially when you have to have less than 15 of these on the board. You're going to be doing these on purpose just to whittle this down. With the secondary missions and the fact that it goes a whole year, it's still a wonderful one to do. I'm very strongly considering doing this one. Then the last one here, which is very interesting, it does go into 45, but April of 45, which is not October of 45. So remember, the jet doesn't come out until October of 45. So we do not have a single campaign in the game that goes until October of 45. This one is very different from all the others. I don't know if I can find it, but yeah, here it is. So what happens is, the ETO theater starts here because this is where D-Day is. So D-Day has occurred and they landed on the beach. And you can see here there's an arrow going here, and then there's an arrow going to Berlin. So the ETO theater wants to, this is representing your army, the American forces liberating France and then moving towards Berlin. And you actually lose victory points if this fails to get to Berlin by the end. And so what you're doing is you have, first of all, there's a special rule that after the campaign starts, the B17 groups cost less. So what I tend to do with this one is you start with 100 points. I buy like B24s. I buy everything but the B17s, right? And then when I get my weekly SO points of 28, then I start buying B17s with that. And they cost 4 less. And so then I spend the 4 points to promote them automatically. And so you can sort of game it a little bit. But the flak attacks is +2, which means that the anti-aircraft is brutal. The bandit attacks is -2. So the ability of them to hit you is not very strong. So it's a very interesting mission. Now the ETO counter gets pushed forward. Any Luftwaffe squadrons that are behind the army line get removed. And then, of course, you lose 6 victory points for every hex short. You do get a nice selection. It is almost a year long, which is pretty cool. You do get a lot of SO points weekly. You need a boatload of points to win. All the technologies are going to be there. You use secondary missions. You have 5 aircraft factories you have to contend with. You start with 14 on the board. It can get pretty crazy. Here in October of 44, the shooting star is a technology. So that means you can unlock the jet fighter. That's the one thing, is right here. October of 44, the jet fighter can be unlocked. I know it says October 45 on the card, but this technology would let you get it early. Okay, so what's so special about this, and how does this thing move forward? Well, what happens is you've got these tactical targets here, and So, for example, I may draw a convoy, and the convoy is either going to be strength 1 through strength 6. So let's say it was a strength 5 convoy. It would go there. So that means I have to hit it 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 would take it off the board. And so what this represents is close air support. So the American forces are engaged in ground combat with the German forces, and this is representing us using bombing to support the war. And so we'd be coming in and going after the ETO tactical targets. So the convoy would give us a +1 air to ground. And then I think it says, it says 4 or more destroys it. I think that's because, I think actually that means he's a 4 strength unit like that. I think that's what that means. It's been a while since I've done this one. There is a spot in the rule book that explains it, but that's the idea, is that you would roll dice, obviously, and your mission is bombing this. So rather than picking targets up at the top of the board, your targets are this. And then what you're doing is you're trying to the more targets you destroy that are supporting the ground forces, that improves the odds that the ETO theater is going to move towards Berlin. I hope that makes sense. So anyways, thank you for those of you who stuck around to listen to some more. I'm going to call it quits. And yeah, we're going to either do point blank or this one. Now, I know I tend to move fast, and some of you aren't watching videos the moment I make them, but if you do get a chance to watch this before I get the next campaign going, and you have a particular one you want to see, let me know, and I'll try to do that. Like I said, point blank is the big one, and then this D-Day thing, it's also very big, but it's very different because we got these types of targets. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed the playthrough. Sorry I was a little rocky at first. That tends to be my MO, I guess. And I hope you got a nice feel for this game. This is a wonderful DVG game. Definitely heavier than the others, like I said, but it's rewarding. And I do enjoy it. It's a nice balance of key decision making along with some random luck and challenge. So anyways, thank you for watching, and as always, stay awesome.